Everyone, and welcome back to my playthrough for Digimon World 2003, and I have switched Black Wargreymon back on, and having defeated Hyandromon in the previous part, we are now in a position where we can proceed deeper into the Dum Dum factory, which might raise the question of why have I returned to Bullet Valley, and the reason for that is because I feel highly relieved to have gotten Hyandromon out of the way, and I would actually like to return to the Pouch Oasis to save my game and rest Kotemon, just so that I won't have to defeat Hyandromon again should something go wrong. It's just out of the battles that I have ahead of me, I said pretty much from the start that Hyandromon is the most threatening, so you would think that having, gotten him out of the way, I should feel more confident now than I ever have done, but it also puts a bit of pressure on me, because now I've got something quite substantial to lose, and that would be my success against Hyandromon, as that would become completely undone if I was to get defeated. And I'm just taking extra precaution. I also, from resting, my MP is obviously a lot better off than it was, so that will help me out as well, because I'm going to have a greater deal of MP that's going to stretch further. So that will, minimise even further any risk of me getting defeated. If everything goes smoothly, then returning to save and rest would be it might seem in vain, although every battle that I get into is a step of progress, so I'm kind of helping myself out that way just by leaving the Dum Dum factory like I did and needing to return to it. I was looking online at the technique guide, and if I remember rightly, I think Black Wargreymon learns Gigafire at level 30, which is only 12 levels more than what he currently is, being at level 18 of course. And I've explained before that Gigafire is going to be a crucial technique. It's I'm confident it's the second best fire attack in the game. And in the previous part, when I was saying about feeling nervous over the thought of battling Datamon and saying about needing to grind until I have better techniques, what I had in mind was grinding until learning Gigafire. So I'm just pleased to be, you know, one step to be that little bit closer to having Black War Greymon at level 30. If that is the level where he learns Gigafire, then that's where I want to get up to, and I want to be there before I attempt to take on Datamon. So if by the time I'm, you know, if by the time I make it up to Datamon, if I haven't learned Gigafire with Black War Greymon, then that's when I will then grind until I learn Gigafire, be it level 30 or a much higher level. I strictly would want to have Gigafire before trying to take on Datamon. And once again, I have put my confidence into Blade Twister, so that's why I've made an alteration with my status just ahead of my battle against Warumuncymon, which is then later followed up by a battle against the AOA. And I think Warumuncymon has very high attack power, and I think either he boosts his own attack power or he reduces his, which in the long run can make him an annoying Digimon to battle against. But if I can try and take care of him early on, then I shouldn't have much to worry about. Almost there. And I'm going to use Blade Twister again. I know I could just use my normal attack, but one attack might get blocked, but likelihood of 3 attacks getting blocked is, you know, far less common. So I just wanted to keep using Blade Twister, and I've got that battle out of the way, and I'm in pretty good shape for the upcoming battle against the AOA. So here Numamon catches up with us, who isn't actually Numamon at all. He is in fact Lucky Mouse, the one who the Game Master portrayed as the villain, the one who Teddy was quite obsessed with. And then it gets revealed that actually the Game Master is the villain in all of this, because she's part of the AOA team. And, well, yeah, and obviously she's the one who we need to be going after. And here we are, speaking of the devils, under attack from the AOA. Our friend Al is with them, not voluntarily, of course. And yeah, it's the AOA General who tried capturing us in the West Sector City when pretending to be the leader. And there's an AOA Attacker and an AOA Trooper. So the General and the Trooper leave, the Attacker remains. Lucky Mouse, who is also known as Kurt, is now turned into a pig. Although conveniently, the Attacker, his gun runs out of power, so he can't turn any more of us into Oinkmon, and he has to rely on his Digimon. And Muncymon is another Digimon who you want to try and defeat as early as possible, because like with Waru Muncymon, either he boosts his own attack or he reduces yours. I can't remember what way around it is. Waru Muncymon does one and then Muncymon does the other, but we're on to Nanimon now anyway. I don't think the AOA Attacker is half as threatening as Waru Muncymon was, and Waru Muncymon wasn't half as threatening as Hyandromon. So returning to save and rest probably was unnecessary. I wouldn't call it a waste, because I did get experience from the battles when going from the Dum Dum Factory to the Pouch Oasis and then back to the Dum Dum Factory. Well, I'll make sure I put Blackwall Greymon back in. And I'm obviously, yeah, I'm pleased to have made it where I've made it. And Blackwall Greymon is only 11 levels away from level 30. And I think I have now reached the point in which I am up to Datamon. I think I have reached the point where battling Datamon is the next part of this playthrough, because I've been in the secret room with everyone, and I believe that I need to get inside the Asuka city. I need to try to defeat Datamon, so that after beating him I can then speak to him about, you know, gaining access to the Asuka city, and he says about some sort of pass that's needed, and then I return to the secret room to broadcast the news that I can't gain access without a certain pass. And then it's believed that Kurt may have one, and then Lisa sends you to the south sector to look for Keith and Nick, and then when you bring them to the secret room, we then are presented with the necessary pass, which gets us into the Asuka city, and then we can start picking off the AOA you know, troopers, the AOA team, we can start, you know, battling them. We can start picking them off. But before I do any of that, I will want Black War Greymon to have Gigafire. I want Gigafire to be my main attack that I use against Datamon, and then the AOA. So I'm now up to the point where I need to do more grinding. I need to go back to doing grinding, and I think the Pouch Oasis will be my grind spot, because the fishing rod there gets me into battles with Dolphmon, who score me 98 experience. It's a little bit less than the random encounters, but from using the fishing rod, the battles will come more frequently. And I've got a Gatomon and a Gardromon right next to me, so at any point, should things go pear-shaped, it's very easy for me to rest and save. But let's just see how it goes. I want to be avoiding the Cardmon, and I want to be getting the Dolphmon, and I know Fire's not going to help us here. Dark Fear's not really going to work either. Let's see what Cold Slash does. One hit. Okay, that's very nice. So 98 experience. A one attack battle, a one attack victory. Just, you know, one Cold Slash and it's the end of the battle. The battles are going to come frequently. I want to be avoiding the Cardmon, so it should be pretty easy to grind from here and get up to the point where Black War Greymon has Gigafire. And then from here, I will then go take Submarimon to the central sector and see how I do against Datamon. But there's a bit of grinding to do beforehand. What you're watching now is what I'm going to be doing until I learn Gigafire. But normally with the grinding I like to cut it, and that's what I'm going to be doing here. But this part will continue, still got a good 10 minutes or so. But when you next see me, I should have Gigafire. So I do now have Gigafire, and I made a small miscalculation as to what level Black War Greymon needed to be. I said level 30, it was level 35, but a very modest difference of just 5 levels. Main thing is I am there, and Gigafire is mine, and the seabed that I'm going to be using is the one here, and yeah. Now, Gigafire's not going to work very well against water Digimon. In this scenario, I'm sure it will be Dolphmon, but Cold Slash will serve me fine because it was Dolphmon who I was grinding on, and one hit was all it ever took to defeat them. and I'll end up at Central Park. If I feel like I need to rest and recover my HP and MP, then the Forest Inn is probably my best bet. And well, my plan is to fight Datamon with Black Wargreymon using Gigafire and just hoping for the best, really. And later on, when I do have access to the city, the Forest Inn once again will be a sensible place for resting and saving. Although once I make it past enough of the AOA troopers in order to access the main parts of the Asuka city, then it would make most sense to save and rest within the Asuka city. And I think the nearest Piximon is the one in the East Sector city, because I seem to recall a few of the people within the Asuka city being captured, one of them being the guy who gives you the service that Piximon gives you. But I can't think of any reason why I would want to be changing my Digimon, altering my Digivolutions, so that's probably irrelevant. I did accidentally get into a battle with a Cardmon, and that reminds me, I actually need to show you my infantry and whatnot, don't I? Items. So the HP chip, the MP chip, power chip and mind chip, booster 5B, which came from the one battle that I got into against a Cardmon while I was grinding on Golfmon. So we've got the rusty rifle, the old wand, the old claw, and then this random item. No armours, no accessories. So 99 TP points, no weapons, no armours, no accessories. Black Wargreymon is the Digimon who I'm obviously starting with. And the Cardmon was harder to win against than the Golfmon, but the experience was more, 135, the bits was more, 270, and Booster Pack 5B is quite a big step up from the 1Bs and the 2Bs that I was obtaining, and I assume it probably contains some reasonably better cards. And there may come a point where I may intentionally grind for Cardmons for better boosters, better cards, and when the time does come, I will need to weigh up the booster packs that I get from winning the battles, as well as how difficult it is to win against the Cardmon. But the Cardmon that drop booster packs 5B, that is certainly worth consideration, because I would imagine you could get some pretty good cards from that. I am heading to the Forest Inn, as I'm pretty confident I can make it from the Forest Inn to the Azuka Bridge without needing to use any MP. When I use the seabed that takes me to the sewage area, and the sewage area itself, I will be needing MP for those fights, should I participate in them, but I would have to have done that anyway. I might be better off just running away from the battles, preserving MP, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to run away. Not to mention that it will cost MP to recover HP should I need to recover HP, but let's just worry about that when I come to it. Most important thing is Datamon's on the horizon. I've got Black War Greymon, Gigafire, my Kotemon's level 49. The easier my path is, the better, but I don't have any control over that. So far, the most powerful Digimon I've encountered is Flymon, and I was able to take him out with one single attack. I know at some point, the Digimon who you get into battles with, it can change, it can vary. Flymon is a relatively new addition, and I know at some point in these areas you can get into a battle with those Kowagamons. They're like a turquoise colour, and I think they score you 150 experience points. Quite a substantial step up from the Flymon, and I probably would use MP against them, but I don't think they feature yet. I think Flymon is as tough as it gets at the moment, and Flymon is no trouble at all. And when I do decide to, get into card battling, I will probably edit my folders off camera. Although I would probably give you a bit of a preview over them, just so you can see what my folders are like, what my cards are like. It will probably be boring watching me editing my folders, so I'll probably cut that out. But the actual card battles themselves, that I'm sure will be kept on camera. But when I say about card battles, it is only going to be me competing in Dual Island, I think. I can't think of anything else obvious that springs to mind. The battles here are relatively frequent, but I managed to run away. I'm pleased with that, because that Digimon for like this level is quite a tough Digimon to fight against. I seem to remember him being more powerful than the basic, than like the Digimon who you battle in the West sector. I think that they're not as tough as that Digimon is. But well, my HP and MP are at the maximum, so now is as good a time as any. But I do think I should be ending the part here, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And in the next part you will see me entertain Datamon. So thank you everyone for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next part.